All right, let's start things off with the big topic here.
The elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room of Florida State.
Florida State versus Georgia Tech.
Personally, if I was Florida State, I'd cancel the whole season and start working out now.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't play football anymore.
I think that might be the biggest upset of this season.
I'd have to change that because when Georgia and Clemson play, Clemson's going to win. Clemson is back.
I can't agree with that.
I can.
I can't.
Watch what I tell you. Clemson is going to beat Georgia.
The only reason I can't is because Clemson lost to LSU. And I don't think Clemson will ever be that good again.
Let me try and find some more games. Penn State and West Virginia at West Virginia.
I think West Virginia's going to win. It's a hot take.
Well, when Drew Aller gets out there and throws for 5 touchdowns, then talk to me.
And on the topic of college football, how do we think Alabama's going to do this season?
I think Bama is going to get second in the SEC. LSU is going to win the SEC.
What about Georgia?
I think it's going to be Texas.
Texas.
What about Akron and Ohio State?
I'm going to have to go with Ohio State.
I believe in Akron. I think they can go into Ohio State and take them down.
I don't at all.
But I can say for my college football simulations, Akron has beat Ohio State every single time. Every single one of them. It's very unique.
Well, I mean, that's one way to look at it. I just want to point out that Ohio State has a freshman starting this year, who apparently is one of the best receivers in the world.
Just forget about Randy Moss and all that. Well, they're old now, so.
Well, I mean, it's pretty impressive to be starting at a D1 school as a freshman.
Yeah.
Especially at a school like Ohio where they're known for their wide receivers.
It really is. Obviously, you have USC and LSU. It's a big game.
I think USC is going to barely win, but this is going to be LSU's kind of momentum build. They're going to lose, and they're going to get mad that they lost, and then they're going to win every single game after that.
Well, that'd be the second time they lost a game in that type of scenario. But
and then they're just going to win it all this year. Fully believe that.
What I think realistically will happen with LSU, I think they will beat USC, and I think they'll lose one game in the SEC, and that's to Bama. I think they'll lose to Bama. And then they go on to the college football playoffs, which is 12 teams now, right? It's 12 teams.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they'll make it to the third round of the college football playoffs and lose.
I gotta say though, that's probably my favorite college football rivalry is Louisiana and Alabama. Even though it's not super big, it's definitely my favorite.
Like LSU and Alabama, did you say it's not big?
It's not like notable like some of these other rivalries like Michigan and Ohio State, but it's still a good rivalry.
Speaking of good rivalries with Bama, Tennessee and Bama. I'm ready to watch that game. Do they play this year? Pretty sure Tennessee and Bama play. We're going to go with they play
Tennessee
for right now.
is probably my least favorite school in the SEC.
I love Tennessee's colors.
I kind of have to disagree with that.
Oh, they do? Okay. Good to know.
I think the colors are okay. I like their blackout jerseys. Those are great.
Got added in the update. Tennessee's blackout got added in the update.
Oh, did it really? Oh, that's nice.
It's nice to know.
So did the Warhol with the helmet, fighter jet helmet.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh, speaking of ULM, they play today, actually. I don't know who they play. I know they play,
General Booty.
General Booty.
He's going places.
I think General Booty puts ULM on the map. ULM goes all the way and wins the Natty.
Jackson State.
They play Jackson State.
Well, who's ever heard of Jackson State? That's the real question.
Oh, besides the fact Deion Sanders was there and Travis Hunter was there, and
I mean, well, they're not
wasn't
really,
Shadur there?
They're not really important figures right now.
Yeah.
You know, Travis Hunter.
Speaking of all them, what about Colorado? How do you feel about Colorado? Do you think they're playing for clicks this year, or do you think they're playing for W's?
They're playing for clicks, 100%.
As always.
They always do. I think Coach Prime is not that good. He was good when he played football, but I don't think he's good as a coach.
I'd have to disagree with you. I really would. Colorado was ranked last year. They had a relatively decent season. But the biggest concern for me as college football is, why is Oregon ranked so high? Oregon is not that good. And they've never been that good.
Yeah. Oregon, the only thing I like about Oregon is probably their outfits. I think they have the best outfits.
Well, they have good uniforms to make up for not being as good of a football team as they should be.
Also, I'm a D1 Bo Nix hater. I hate Bo Nix.
Well, Bo Nix isn't on Oregon anymore.
Yeah. He got traded. He got with the Denvers, or not the Denvers, the Broncos. I think he deserves that team. I really do.
Bo Nix is actually having a really good start to the Broncos right now. Jacoby Brissett was named the starter of the Patriots today, actually, over Drake May and Joe Milton. That's a questionable decision, but you know.
You know who I really am rooting for though?
Who?
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, he's good and all.
I want Jaden Daniels to be the next Brady.
Caleb Williams, though, I'm ready to see him do big things.
I'm ready to see him have a downfall.
Caleb Williams is not going to have a downfall. Caleb Williams was the best quarterback in college football for 2 years straight. There's no doubt about it.
You know, if he was really that good, then why didn't he win a natty?
USC's defense.
Why didn't he win the Heisman?
He did.
He did not.
Yes, he did.
This year, I mean, like, why didn't he win it this year? He was that good.
That's a valid take. But, I mean, I don't know about LSU's team. LSU,
We've got
Will Campbell. That's all I have to say about LSU.
Emory Jones.
Harold Perkins. That's their only notable defensive player that I can think of.
Perkins is so good. And isn't he going to his sophomore year or
Junior. To get off the topic of college football, NFL football. The Dallas Cowboys just signed Dalvin Cook. And, you know, they might sign Dalvin Cook, but they are still going to choke in the first or second round of the playoffs.
I'm telling you, if the Cowboys would get rid of Dak Prescott, they would do so much better.
That is a huge take because I watched Trey Lance throw 5 interceptions in a preseason game.
I didn't say Trey Lance. I just said not Dak Prescott.
Hear me out. In the mind of Jerry Jones, let's fly in there real fast. We trade for Zach Wilson. Boom. Zach Wilson's in Dallas. Amazing targets.
Better yet, you trade for Daniel Jones.
Sam Howell.
I like Sam
I
Howell.
love Sam Howell.
I think he never got the appropriate chance he deserved.
I mean, healthy quarterback.
Let's go back in time. Imagine what Dallas could have done with Tom Brady. Tom Brady could be 80 years old playing for the Dallas Cowboys right now and have like 12 Super Bowls.
Well, you know, that's a valid take, but I think the Patriots just had some great tight ends.
All right, let's get back to college football.
That never
We'll go
happened.
back to the NFL in a second. Georgia. What do you think Georgia's going to do this year?
I think Georgia makes playoffs. I think they get eliminated second round.
Okay, that's valid. I don't think Georgia's going to live up to the hype. I don't think Carson Beck's that good, personally. I think the only reason Georgia did so good with Stetson Bennett is because he was an 80-year-old man throwing the ball to 19-year-old 5-star receivers. I personally believe that.
I will say this, though. I do like Georgia's uniform.
I like their all-black.
Yeah.
And Trevor Etienne going to Georgia is a huge, huge thing. I thought he was amazing at Florida. Imagine what he can do at Georgia with their offensive line.
Yeah.
He honestly should have committed to Bama or LSU. Best
Also,
offensive lines in college.
LSU has, I believe, 4 of the number one, 4 or 5 stars, and they're all rated number 1 at their position.
That is true. That is indeed true.
I think we should just mention that and how there's a good chance within the next 4 years
LSU
wins
brings
a
in a
natty.
natty, yeah.
There's a great chance.
All right, let's get back to NFL. Who is the most overrated team in the NFL right now?
Yeah. I probably have to go with the Seahawks.
You're wrong. It's the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, that's a good point.
Josh Allen is not as good as everybody makes him out to be.
I completely agree.
He's a white Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson actually throws the ball more than Josh Allen,
Well, to
believe it or
be
not.
fair, Josh Allen is probably the only quarterback I know that smiles whenever he sees Aaron Donald rushing at him.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about that anymore because Aaron Donald is gone.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord for all the quarterbacks, specifically Dak Prescott whenever they play.
Josh Allen, I think he's gonna have a downward spiral this year,
I would have to agree.
especially without Stephon Diggs.
I personally don't. I used to like Stephon Diggs, and then he started
I liked him when he was with the Vikings.
the Minnesota Miracle or Minneapolis Miracle, whichever one it was called.
Don't ever mention that again.
Yeah, I was actually watching that game.
I'm
And-
still scarred from it. You know, we could have won it all that.
All right, let's do awards predictions. Who do you have winning the MVP?
MVP. It's a great question. This year, this is a hot take, but I'm gonna give it to Tua. This is a very hot take, but I'm gonna give it to Tua.
You know, I'm gonna get the obvious pick. Lamar goes back to back. I think Lamar.
I think Lamar is going to not be that good this year. I think he's gonna have an okay season this year, and he's gonna bounce back and have an amazing season next year.
I like Christian McCaffrey for Offensive Player of the Year again. I think he goes back to back, and if not Christian McCaffrey, you give it to 32-year-old Tyreek Hill.
I mean, he was rated number 1.
That is true. He was rated number 1 over Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And a fun fact, CeeDee Lamb was rated higher than Justin Jefferson.
But yet, CeeDee Lamb has a lower contract than Justin Jefferson.
Who performs better? Let's be honest here.
Okay, I think CeeDee Lamb is good with he's really good with what he has, especially with Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Dak Prescott is like a goose. That's all I have to say about Dak.
Dak, he just needs to retire. He just needs to give it up.
Honestly, Dak Prescott's coming to the end of his contract. I see him next year either on the New England Patriots or the Raiders.
I see him just getting out of the league entirely. Possibly being on the practice team.
I don't like the Dak Prescott slander. That will forever be my Dallas Cowboy quarterback.
You know, whenever he gets you onto the Super Bowl, I'll stop.
My Super Bowl favorites this year is the Detroit Lions and the Houston Texans. That is my Super Bowl favorites. That would feed families.
I really don't want the Chiefs to make the Super Bowl again.
Well, they just cut
But
their best player, Kadarius Toney. So
But they have such a good chance, especially with Xavier Worthy. They have a really good chance.
now
of
hear me
beating
out.
him.
Kadarius Toney comeback player of the year. Because the Chiefs got Kadarius Toney back-to-back Super Bowls. They cut him. Now watch the Chiefs' downfall.
So, did Kadarius Toney go anywhere else?
No, he hasn't been signed yet.
No.
Where did Tre'Davious White go? Has he been signed yet? Oh man,
Rams.
he went to the Rams. Okay, that's a good pickup. Jalen Ramsey and Tre'Davious. Jalen Ramsey's not on the Rams. Oh my
He's
gosh,
at the Dolphins.
he's on the Dolphins with Odell.
So, yeah. OBJ.
Odell's actually out for the first 3 weeks.
I think the Dolphins have a good chance of making the playoffs again this year.
If they don't,
The only thing that's really changed is Christian Wilson going to the Raiders.
and he is a very good defensive
He was a very
lineman
good
for them.
defensive lineman for them.
How many games does Tua start?
He's started every game, I think.
Yeah, how many will he start this year?
I don't think a lot. Concussions.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
Yeah.
I think Tua's going to be out of the league in the next 4 years from concussions.
I don't know. I have faith in Tua. I think he's gonna pull through.
You know, I really miss Antonio Brown. Prime Antonio Brown with like fed families.
You know
really
what I
did.
miss? OBJ at the New York Giants. That's what I miss.
I don't miss how he was a diva.
And I really love how he made the one-handed catch on Dallas. You know?
Even though it was a PI and there was no need to catch the football, but okay. I really do miss AB. AB and Big Ben and Le'Veon Bell all on the Steelers and just never got anything done. Let's rotate back to something. Stephen Curry just got signed to a 1 year.
$62.6 million 1 year extension contract.
That is crazy numbers. You know what I'd do with that much money? A lot.
Well, I mean, he kind of deserves it. He pulled through at the Olympics.
Well, let's talk about this specifically. Klay Thompson going 0 for 10 in an elimination game. And Captain America literally won us gold.
I think LeBron holding up the flag for the U.S. is the perfect choice.
I just want to talk about the NBA's most overrated player in Jason Tatum.
I completely agree.
He stole 3 quotes.
It was like 6. It was.
He stole Stephen Curry's,
Kanye's.
Kevin Garnett's, and Kanye's.
I also want to say Antonio Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
My bad. Restart that. Cut that out. I just want to say Anthony Edwards is one of the best players in modern day basketball.
I love watching Anthony Edwards play basketball. I really do.
He's something special. That's all I can say.
Let's talk about some colleges from down here. How do you think Northwestern is going to do against Tulsa?
You know, I don't really know too much about Tulsa, so I'm going to have to go with Northwestern.
I'm going to have to go with Tulsa because Northwestern's Northwestern.
Well, they have a Winfield Senior High football player at Northwestern. They don't have a Winfield Senior High football player at Tulsa.
Well, you don't know that.
I do know that.
Okay. ULM is playing Jackson State. We've already discussed that. Tech is playing Nichols State. And I think Tech's going to win. I love watching Tech's football team. I love their blue, especially their baby blue. Or is it powder? I really like that. To jump further in the college football season, the Army-Navy game.
I just want to say that that's probably one of the best games. I think it's really cool how LSU always plays a military team for their homecoming.
Yeah, and then absolutely poops on them, drops 60 every single time.
It's just a throwback since LSU used to be a military school.
Speaking of which, Trey Holly actually got a rushing touchdown against Army last year.
Yeah, you know, I have high hopes for Trey Holly.
I do too, even though he's 5'4".
Hey,
but short kings live on.
What's his name?
Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn. I can't take him seriously, honestly. I just look at him and I kind of start laughing.
A big topic last year for football was Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor kept requesting trades. The Colts told him, no, you're going to stay. But nobody values running backs anymore. Like, back in my day, Adrian Peterson was just that guy.
What about Saquon Barkley going to the Eagles?
I don't think Saquon's going to do that good on the Eagles.
Well, because they're not going to give him the ball every single time.
In my opinion, Saquon looked amazing on the Giants because everybody around him was not very good.
I'm going to have to disagree with that. Daniel Jones he's like Dak Prescott. He needs to just give it up. He has had so many injuries, and he hasn't ever gotten better from them. So, and then the fact that they cut Saquon and then give him another giving Daniel Jones another contract is just insane to me.
I'm out of things to talk about.
I think we're done.